know that I don't like certain promos, certain things that wrestlers say in their promos? Well, if you didn't know, that's what Hit Row would say, now you know. So welcome back to the channel, everyone, and today we're going to be talking about another thing, just a little bit of a discussion. Now, over the last several months, I've just been doing random discussions, talking about random things about WWE that I don't really like. Today is another one of those videos, and honestly, this needs to be said. If you guys watched my WrestleMania stream, Night 2, then you would know what I'm talking about because I briefly brought it up. And I said I'll be making it into a video, which is this video right now. One thing I'm not a big fan of is basically today on Raw. Becky Lynch cut a promo following her loss to Lyra Valkyrie, and yeah, I didn't make a video about the whole thing with Lyra Valkyrie, about Lyra beating Becky, and I will give Becky credit for actually putting over Lyra, but not her biggest fan, but hey, at least she put someone over. But I wasn't a fan of Becky's promo afterwards. I mean, her shots towards Roman and Rhea, I guess, were, you know, typical. Especially the ones towards Rhea are like the most typical things ever. Like, of course, someone's going to say that about Rhea. Because apparently every single bloody champion needs to defend their title 24/7. And every single bloody champion apparently needs to defend their title more often than everybody else. Even if Rhea Ripley did defend her title every week against everyone on the roster, people would still complain. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about a line that Becky said in that promo, and it basically made me roll my eyes and groan. She said, and I quote, "I don't need a title, but a title needs me." This is another attempt of WWE portraying that a wrestler claims they don't need to be a champion in the company. And this is something I really, really despise. I just do not like these promos. They're unnecessary, they're stupid, and they just make the wrestlers look stupid. I've never been a fan of a wrestler saying they don't want a title. Or they don't need a title. Listen here, Becky. If you didn't need a title like you claim, then you brag about defending your title more in 42 days than Rhea Ripley and Roman. You brag about defending your title more than they do, and then after you say that, you then say, "I don't need a title"? You don't need a title. But you defended it more times than Rhea and Roman. You had no problem going down to NXT and challenging Tiffany Stratton for the title and taking it from her. But you don't need a title. But you don't need a title. Sure, Becky, sure. I'll be sure to remind you that you don't need a title, especially if you end up facing Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania next year. Especially since that's the rumored match. Oh, but Miss Lynch doesn't need a title, apparently. But sure, let's go ahead and do Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch for next year's WrestleMania. Yeah, you don't need a title, my butt. Charlotte Flair said the exact same thing during the pandemic in 2020. I believe it was on an episode of Raw when Sasha and Bayley were like the tag team champions, and Bayley was also the SmackDown champion, and I think Asuka was still the Raw champion at the time. And I remember Charlotte walking down, cutting a promo, and she said something to Bayley and Sasha, and she said something along the lines of, "I don't need a title to stay relevant." What? Why? Why have Charlotte Flair, of all people, say something like that? Why on earth would you script Charlotte Flair to say, "I don't need a title to stay relevant," when that basically is Charlotte's career? Being a champion is Charlotte's career. It's her gimmick. She has to either A, be competing for a title, or C, has to be the champion. And I love Charlotte Flair. You guys know I'm the biggest Charlotte Flair fan, and I will defend her. And I will defend her to the day I die. But even there are times, even I will question the booking towards her. But that is just completely inexcusable. I think I might have said it in that review of that episode. I might have to try and find it. I might have, I'm not 100% sure. But I've never ever been a fan of hearing wrestlers say they don't need a title, but then they ultimately end up challenging for a title, or they end up winning a title. And by the way, Becky said this after she lost the NXT Women's Championship, saying she didn't need it. Well, if you didn't need it, Becky, why did you win it? Why did you win it if you didn't need it? And this is one of the things that I hate so much. Why say you don't need a title just to win it anyway? It's absolutely stupid, and it's one of those things that I really don't like. It's just so irritating, I don't like it, it's annoying, and it just makes these wrestlers look... It makes them look fickle. It makes them look like hypocrites. And then, many months later, they'll be challenging for a title again, acting like, oh, what they said about not needing a title never ever happened. So ultimately, Becky Lynch says she doesn't need a title, but a title needs her. But ultimately, she's gonna challenge for another title, most likely Rhea's title, and she'll probably most likely win it. So yeah, I don't need a title, but I sure as hell am going to win one. That is Becky's motto. She may not need one, but she absolutely will win one.